So this is a recording on how to use wamap, which is kind of an entry thing here. So once you get registered on the wamap.org as a new student, you are in Stats Dual Enrollment 2026. So you're using the enrollment key that's found on the syllabus. So you're going to select that, and this is the course, and this is where all the materials will be found. First and foremost, you want to read the syllabus. It's a downloadable, or you can just read it online. It's also in Brightspace. Here, and these will always be here, here are the assignment lists. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And in the assignment list, you'll see that the chapters are listed and the due dates. So the notes are due on 1/7. So that would be 1/7 would be on Wednesday. So you want to go ahead and take a look at the notes. So let's go there next. So in chapter 1, notice there is a black arrow here that you can collapse. So if you go to chapter 1, you can open that up. And I advise you just to look at chapter by chapter. Don't look ahead, it could be overwhelming. Just keep chapter by chapter. So here are the notes and lectures. Here's the lecture template. And the template, if you go back and look at the lectures, will match that template exactly. And I will be going through that template. You are advised to copy down what I'm writing, use a highlighter. You will be posting that template where it says due by 1/7. If you click on that, it's a forum. So you're going to add a new thread, you're going to tell me the subject, and you're going to attach your notes to that template. I'll go back through and simply see if you had watched the lectures or not, and you need to do that prior to completing any of the assignments. That's why it's due earlier than the assignments themselves. So after the notes, if I go look, there's a big idea, and that happens for every chapter. This chapter has two big ideas. One is simply just watching a lecture found here at the Against All Odds. It's a resource we'll use throughout the course, and it's just telling you what is statistics. And you'll again just be filling out a template so I know that you've watched the video and thought about it a little bit. The second big idea is exploring this place called the Islands. There you will also need to create an account. The islands are going to be used throughout the course, and this is where the course is really specific to nursing. We'll be doing some experiments on the islanders. We'll be taking blood pressure. Depending upon what your experiment is, you might be administering caffeine, etc. So again, you need to set up an account on the islands. And once you have that account, here are some directions of what you need to do. I tell you a house to visit on an island. So you're just exploring to see what's happening. Here are the 5 things you need to submit for Big Idea Part B for Chapter 1. And you'll do that directly in the forum, which is found right below inside the Big Idea drop-down. You again will be adding a thread. In addition to the big idea and the notes, every chapter will also have a homework. So notice how I can collapse these and kind of get them out of my way. So if I go into the directions for the assignment, this is like an assignment versus big idea, which is like, this is what it's all about. The homework is let's practice some of these things. And notice there are lectures in addition to notes. And there are actually 2 lectures here, and then you submit your homework. You're going to read through examples. I suggest that you reference these lectures and notes as you work on the assignment. And again, there's your forum for submitting your homework for Chapter 1. So again, you'll take notes. You'll do the big idea. Back to the notes. Here's the template for the notes again. So make sure that you copy it right on there. You don't want to hand copy all of these notes. It's not worth your time. It's very time consuming. Once you're done with the notes, the big idea, and the homework, there's practice problems for you to do. You get to try these as many times as you would like, so you can correct your answer. There's no reason why you shouldn't get 100% on those. And then there is a quiz. You only have one opportunity to open the quiz, so once you open it, you can't go back in. The quiz has a 20-minute time limit. I'm assuming that you will have your notes and so forth there, but you are not allowed to use chat or look things up on the internet. It should come directly off of your notes. Let's go back to the beginning of the course. If you notice, here's a calendar, so you can see Everything's due on the 12th except for the notes for chapter 1. So this is just a layout of letting you know in advance when things are due. They are not due on a weekly basis. Okay, chapter 3 is shorter because the content in chapter 3 doesn't cover as much. Once you submit, I will go in and correct your work. And if you notice on the left-hand side, here's your grade book. In your grade book, you will see feedback, so you can check on the feedback for each assignment. Sometimes you'll get a 0 in the grade, and that just says you need to go back and redo this and resubmit for me. Back to the course. So that's your grade book, your calendar. Here's your chapter 1. If you're looking for the textbook, it's right here. It's organized by section. There's also something that people find convenient. It's called What Should I Be Doing? In the What Should I Be Doing, it literally tells you when you should do the reading, what pages you should read, what you should try to work on, and then go back and try these practice problems, watch this lecture, and then try practice problems 4 through 11. Sometimes it's easier to listen and then do, instead of listening to the entire lecture and then trying the practice problems. If you can relate them to the lecture, it might help you out. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how to access wamap's materials.